So we don't have Angie here tonight because I believe she's driving to Florida with her pugs.
Excuses.
Hey, listen,
She's making a huge life change.
Right? Fine.
speaking of excuses, I mean, being on a cruise.
Thank you, Mary.
Well, yeah, I know. I have no excuse.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything for that one.
So anyway, what we wanted to talk about today is association going on. And the reason I'm bringing up this topic is that the Arizona Guild.
The Arizona Professional Groomers Guild.
That
Okay,
looks so fun.
it's already there because I already shared it to my profile. Refresh your page.
I wish I'd have thought of that. Thank you for explaining that. Oh my God.
So
Now, you said on Positive Ed. I'm looking on Positive Ed. It's not.
It's on there.
not
I just shared from there.
okay. All right, so moving along. Shiro, I think this is the first time. Hi, welcome to our live stream. So the Arizona Association did a really nice event, which I really liked. So, Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I think it might be of interest to other associations to do something similar.
Absolutely. As everybody knows or doesn't know, Arizona has been notoriously difficult to form an association. It's really hot here. People are just, the heat affects everybody in negative ways. There's a lot involved, and it's really hard to get people to show up, for events and for meetings and to design and pay for and fund and raise money for all these things. However, we have tried maybe 4 different times, and this time we're headed up by a lovely lady named Mercedes Shank, and she used to be a school teacher, and she is also a cat groomer, exclusively a cat groomer, and she just wanted to give back to the grooming community. So she found like minds, and she didn't know who I was. She didn't know who Melissa Conti Diener was. She didn't know who anybody was. She's like, hey, if you're a groomer, come here, like that. So we showed up, and I don't know how she got Terry DiMarino in one of our first meetings. She didn't even know who Terry DiMarino was. So I never really. She's like, oh, I didn't know who anybody was or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, Terry DiMarino all up in our thing like that. So, so we have just decided that we really want to do a lot of community outreach. Because one of the things we would like to accomplish with our guild is to let the clients know that we're here. We're here to answer questions. We're here to support them and their love of their pet, and also to spread the word of the Master Groomer Council of Best Practices so they know exactly what to expect when they go to the groomer. And I think that's going to be a lovely relationship. And then as it grows and builds, it will collect more people that understand how beautiful this is. So our first event was a Halloween bash at Paradise Valley Park here locally. And we all brought a booth, and there was face painting and pet portraits and a little creative contest. And then, of course, we promoted our salons and what we did. And it was just wonderful. It was a little nice, tight. It had maybe about 10 different vendors and booths. We had food, there was music. It was really successful for as small as it was, and for this being our very first time. So it's just, it's really wonderful. And now we are preparing to help Tina Davis promote and expand her idea of having an expo here in Mesa, Arizona. So we're going to have an expo in Arizona. It's unreal. I'm so excited. So we're meeting with her next month to start the ball rolling. She's already secured the location, and we're going to go from there. It's really exciting. This is everything. Yeah, this is everything I dreamed that a guild or an association should be. And I love the people that are on the board, and I'm really happy to be working with them, and just honored and privileged to be a part of it. And we're going to grow from here because we have people, a handful of people can grow and make something happen. And we're all key people in the things that we do and the things that we specialize in. And I think it's a great bunch of gals. And we're going to grow and make it better and better. And we hope to do at least maybe 4 community outreaches a year, plus support with local seminars and bring speakers in and do the thing. So that's what we're hoping for. And it was a smashing success as far as I'm concerned, this little Halloween thing.
I
So,
want to come to the next one. It looked so fun.
yeah, it
I
was.
saw the
Sounds
pictures.
amazingly
It was.
fun.
Right?
I'm
So-
just excited that there's going to be an expo in Arizona, which means I might be going to Arizona,
I know, right?
which is in state I haven't been in. I don't even think I've had a layover in. This is quite
Oh.
exciting.
I love
Yeah,
Arizona.
it's
It's one of my favorites.
Oh, I love Arizona.
Arizona's awesome. As you can see, it's still
I was
near the
gonna
triple
say
digits here.
I will show Arizona respect and love, but I am not a triple digit kind of gal.
Oh, that's why we have air everywhere in every building.
No.
Absolutely.
And it's the what do you call it? The show is not until like the end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think the Rocky Mountain, Colorado show is first, and then
Yeah,
that one
yeah.
comes after.
So that one's in July, and then does she have a name for it yet?
Rocky Mountain Expo, Arizona.
Okay.
Right?
So far, I guess.
Branding is everything.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Ashley. Yes, I'm actually looking forward to that too because it might be one of those shows that I drive down to, even though it's a long drive,
Oh, that is a super long drive.
because I will be driving through Quartzsite, Arizona.
Of course, Mary. Of course.
And for those who don't know what Quartzsite, Arizona is, so every year Tucson puts on Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. It's a big deal. It's like January, February-ish time of year. And they have vendors from like all over the world. So you could get rocks to your heart content for various prices. Okay. Generally, some places are outrageously expensive. Just before the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show is a little town called Quartzsite. Okay. And they basically have a year-round gem and mineral show.
The entire town is a flea market of gems and minerals. The entire town. Yeah.
So how close to the mountains is this? Like, what is the elevation of Quartzsite?
Probably about 1,500. We're at 17 to 2,000 where I'm at in west of Phoenix. So I mean, we are an elevation, but no, it's not close to any ocean or gulf or anything.
Oh no, I was more curious if I'm gonna go for the bad puns. I was just curious if Mary was going to be getting stones while high.
That's her discretion.
If she was going to be if there was going to be stoned and high. Like
Probably. I don't know.
So if you want like really good deal on crystals and stuff, then Quartzsite is the town you're in.
Mary just ignores. She's just like
Just put that away.
No, it just doesn't even acknowledge some of the flies out of my mouth. Like, let's not
Well,
even.
sometimes I'm not sure if I'm dealing with toddlers or teenagers.
You're dealing with adult women who are groomers. That's who we are.
I'm an adult.
So they say.
Okay. All right. So moving along. All right. So here in Washington, what really has done well is that once a year there's like a mobile roundup, and all the mobile groomers from the region
Sorry.
come in, and there's food. There's like potluck type things, and that does well. Some of the things that hasn't done well for our association has been like in person, like pulling in somebody to teach, but also we're also concentrated on the Pacific Northwest rather than the other part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
That's lacking. And I like the idea of like doing community events in the different corners of the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're trying to get people from each quarter or each of the major cities ish
Okay.
to host like a little chapter. So because I'm not, I'll say right now, I'm probably not going to drive to Flagstaff for a 1-day event, but if they want to put one on, we're going to support them and help them organize it, and tell them how to do it and, what to look for and who to ask about what. We will absolutely support them in them doing that. But if it's so far away, she even lives 2 hours away from me south, and she came all the way up past where I live, to throw this event. But she is the director, and she really does believe in this. And but if we can get several chapters going, I think that just makes us stronger. And once they see us, and like I said, it's been a while since we've had an actual association. And
you know what I thought would be a good idea? If we can't get to the other corners of the state, so why don't we do like 4 workshops, or Washington probably be 5, in the center it's pretty big, of having like 5 locations where there is a live, people are there live, okay? And each location can put on a workshop that is zoomed to the other locations.
I love that, because we have had interest from the different corners. We just have to organize it, basically. And I'll probably lean heavily on your experience, Mary, because I'm not used to doing things like that, but I'm absolutely willing to learn. I'd really like to see this become something, because it benefits everyone. Having an association or a guild or whatever your state thing is benefits everyone. Not only does it support your local groomers, your groomers have somewhere to go if they have questions or if they want to be educated. If legislation comes down the pike, you have an actual grooming association to speak for you when it goes to court, or if it even goes that far, at least a fight for your rights as groomers. And it also beefs up the grooming community in such a way that the clients benefit. They have better groomers to ask questions. What if, and this is something that's so important to me as well, when we hear of a dog getting injured or passing away or this, that, and the other, where's that association in that state? Those clients should be able to go right to the grooming association and at least be able to ask questions. Did they follow the standard of care? What do you think as the board of groomers in that state? It doesn't mean that we have control over what happens in a legal sense, but at least we're a body that should be able to field those questions and say, hey, yeah, we collectively feel that wasn't right, or no, she really did, with the evidence that we've been presented, she really did okay, or he really did okay. At least there is someone to buffer that. And I think that the more people that we have, the more clout we'll have, the more state associations that we have. And of course, there are organizations too, where all the state associations go to then bond together as well, so that we're a force to be reckoned with. Too many times and for too long, we've just been floating on the wind, and everybody else gets to say what's right and what's wrong with groomers instead of groomers. We are educated people. We are in the know. We know what we're doing. We have a hierarchy of people who are very educated and very sophisticated in the way they do their grooming. And I don't see why they can't be a voice for other groomers and for the industry, for the benefit of the client as well.
Yeah. And now from a consumer point of view, having some sort of body that represents groomers is better for them too. Because if you think of other industries, right? Think of doctors, police officers, lawyers, whatever. Having a way to like get a lawyer that has not been like indicted, okay? It's kind of a good thing. So we expect other industries to police their own. All right. And I think maybe police is the wrong word that I'm using. All right. What's a better word that I want?
It's just a board that you can answer to. That that says, hey,
like a unit that you can go to, right?
A
like
discretionary board,
right? Exactly. Or, someone that there's that body that, exactly like Crystal said, that will oversee, or at least help field questions.
Mhm.
All right. So the burning question right now, though, Denise, is Andy sent you an email.
I'm so behind on life. I know. I was hoping when she popped on, she wasn't going to call me out on here, but she did.
Oh, she did.
I know. I got your email and I will, yes, I will make sure to send it in.
Okay. Well, this is about the pet style is really fun, correct?
It is, yes. It is.
Okay. So
Canby
yeah, actually, we will smack her around a little bit if she does not.
We shall.
Canby is helping out and they are donating to us and I have to get them a point. So I know, right? Very nice. I will get on that. I promise.
All right. And just so everyone knows, because Angie is not here today. Okay. Let me just make sure she's not here today. Not like waiting in the wings or anything like that.
No, she said she wouldn't because she doesn't want to hear the abomination.
It's actually, I don't think it's as abominable as it could be. Like, I could go into like, whatever you do, don't Google tortoise penis. Like, it's not that level.
Okay, so now we're
It's-
all going to go Google tortoise penis.
That's
See
her
what I
aim.
mean?
So, but anyway, before we do that, and I know as for Denise with the Ohio Association,
Mhm.
you were doing monthly, was it monthly?
Yeah, monthly webinars, continuing education.
Oh, see, you see now, actually, you're going to have to watch the recording to
Yep.
know what we said about you. Okay. All right. So, but anyway, getting back to, so you were doing monthly workshops.
Yeah, so monthly continuing education webinars. Mhm.
So how did that go over?
Good, very well. And it bonded, right? So there's a close knit, everyone who joined the organization, there's like a private Facebook group that members are a part of. And it's like the first go-to, it's my first go-to when I pop in there and I have a question or I'm trying to find a groomer in an area. You know, I'm trying to ask questions or, hey, did you guys see this? And what's really cool is that because we all have this shared value, we trust each other just that little bit more, that's who we go to. And it's a camaraderie.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So anyway, moving that along, Chris, the New Jersey Association did a ball.
mhm.
Oh, I was about to bring that up. We haven't put down the deposits, so we're not officially putting out the save the dates yet, but it's pretty safe. Do you want an early save the date?
I do.
You want a sneakity peek?
Yes.
We are looking at February 2nd,
Okay.
and we are 99% going to have it at the same place we had it last year, because we know what we're dealing with. We don't want to change around too much stuff and try to expand too soon and just it not go well.
Makes it different every time.
Right. But we know what we're dealing with, and we're looking at zhuzhing it up a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
very excited. February 2nd. And by the way, for you people who want to bring your spouse who may be into football and who may be going, it's the middle of football season. No. Homework. That is the Sunday before the Super Bowl. So there's no football. So you can get credit for taking your partner to a fancy thing and during football season and not miss the game.
Oh, do you know how much trouble I got into with Ernesto one year? Because I booked a vacation to Cancun and we were traveling Sundays, and one of those Sundays,
Was the Super Bowl?
yes.
What's wrong with you, Mary?
I would have done it too, Mary. Don't worry.
That's like a high holiday.
Whatever.
That's like one of the fancy holidays. Our house gets scrubbed for like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Super Bowl Sunday.
I feel that.
Yeah, well, it's a little.
Even though we don't watch sports over here.
Yeah,
We're kind of They're not allowed.
I don't watch, I don't watch sports. Sports.
Yeah.
The only time I ever watch sports if it's a live thing. If I'm there at the stadium, I actually enjoy it. But watching it on TV does nothing for me.
I used to watch more football with hubby, and I got really busy, is one of the reasons I stopped. The other reason I stopped watching as much, I demonstrated last Sunday when I walked through the room while he's watching the game, and I started screaming at the TV like, you had one job. Oh, come on. I started, and I'm like, see, it's bad for my blood pressure.
No, so
Where-
Mercedes asking like dog sports. No.
No, like football.
Football, basketball, baseball,
I'll
hockey.
take dog sports.
Yeah, dog sports
Although
are
we will
absolutely
be-
allowed.
Dog sports are also allowed. That is that's Thanksgiving Day is the dog shows are on.
Mhm.
My
to
husband
amuse
is
the
still
rest of the
surprised every time I bring it up because I do bring it up quite often. I'm like, if you had watched any sport in earnest, we wouldn't be together. I would not have dated him. That's how much I can't stand sports.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's severe. It's severe.
Mine only does football. I can handle that.
That's
Like,
fair.
okay, yeah, that's my nap time. Or I get caught up on things.
Oh no. It's like baseball and football season right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can ask.
I wouldn't know.
I only know because the Indians are in the playoff, or
Ah,
the Guardians.
fair.
Sorry,
Yes.
Guardians are in the playoffs. That's the only reason why I know.
It means
Cleveland's there.
destroyers. I got nothing.
Yeah, World Series is coming up.
Mhm.
All right.
World Series. I know it was almost a Subway Series, but it's not. It's not going to be.
No,
The Mets are out. I want to say it's Yankees Dodgers.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, Mercedes is in here. Mercedes, I was talking us up earlier. I hope you were on. You'll have to watch the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Mercedes Schenk is the director of our
Oh,
hallowed
fantastic.
institution, our Groomers Guild.
All right. So before we go into the weird animal fact, there's still a couple of shows left for the year. Correct. We have
Dallas.
Yes, Pet Pro, right?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Evercore Classic. And then isn't there another show? Doesn't Chuck's put on a show? Room
Yeah.
South?
Yeah, I
Groom
haven't
style.
heard. Yeah, I don't know if that one's going. I haven't heard things.
I've
haven't heard a buzz.
I've gotten emails, but that's about it.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I won't see anybody until next year. My next show will be Pasadena.
Are y'all going to do Rocky Mountain in Colorado?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
doing Rocky Mountain
Yeah.
and Colorado. And you know what? There's talk. There is talk. Nothing is confirmed, but there is talk of Mardi Gras Pet Expo coming back.
Hold the phone.
I was just thinking about that one too. I really like. That's another place I haven't been.
Oh my God! So
Oh, I want to go.
So we
Never
went.
been there.
So we went to New Orleans,
Uh-huh.
and I highly recommend that if Christy gets that show back up, you guys need to go.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, New Orleans is a trip and a half. I
my
believe
God,
that
yes.
is where your gallbladder tried to kill you.
Yes, I was just thinking. That is where. My gallbladder started to try to kill me, and blamed the alcohol. And I learned I had a very specific and horrible talent. Because I did this like 3 times before the bartender noticed.
Oh, yes, I remember this. Listen, no, we cannot do your weird animal fact.
And that story on the
Oh
same
no!
day.
You have to tell me what is your weird thing that you can do.
Okay.
Talent.
Okay. Okay. So now I have to tell the story.
Yes.
Mary, I'm sorry. All right. So now, when I left for this show, my husband did notice that I looked a little swollen, like a little heavy in the abdominal area. But being a married man, who knew what was good for him, he didn't say anything. He
Fair.
didn't be like, you know,
Why are you so fat today?
right? You look a little fat today. No. And like within 24 hours of me coming home from that show, I was in the emergency room. But while I was there, we went on a tour, one of the cemetery tours. And you can't get into these cemeteries without a tour. And they start and end
no,
at
that's not true.
well, so that's what they tell you.
Okay. Cindy and
Or
I-
if you have families, if you have family there.
Cindy and I took a walking tour, which I don't necessarily recommend. And we went through the cemeteries and walked back to the hotel through probably not the nicest area.
Mm.
And we're like, we're going to get murdered and we're going to die here.
I don't want to die in New Orleans.
But anyway, so it starts and ends at a bar.
Right.
And the bar offers for tour, if you're on this tour, you get 2-for-1 hurricanes.
Okay.
So people were buying hurricanes and the second one just passing it around. So I'm walking around. It's May in New Orleans. I am drunk. I'm a little tipsy.
Not you.
Not me, never. And then when the tour ends, the sky opened up like someone was building a boat, and the Uber
Rag-on.
prices back to the hotel skyrocketed to like $80 to $100 because we had a large group. So we're like, no, we're waiting. So now we're stuck in this bar where all there is for me to eat is greasy fried food. Gallbladder, remember, hates me. And more hurricanes because people keep filling my glass. So I'm sitting at the bar and I had a problem. And I discovered that if the bartender was looking that way for just a second, I could reach over the bar, grab a red Solo cup, vomit ever so discreetly into the cup.
You asked. This, Michelle.
This is Michelle's fault.
I'm just saying, but go ahead.
And then keep going. I did it 2 or 3 times before the bartender saw me and he went, "You can't do that here." And I'm like, okay, I'll try
You
not to.
can't do that anywhere. What are you talking about?
Well, first of all, I assure you that you can because I've done it.
No. Right, Ashley, I would have died also. I would have died.
But the people sitting next to me didn't even know I was doing it.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't have died. You wouldn't have noticed. I was
I would have
very,
noticed.
I was
For
very,
you is, what
listen,
did-
Michelle, I was very mindful, very demure.
Oh,
It
Ashley,
wasn't
oh.
like, it wasn't loud. It was just, and then I did it again.
Where did you put the cup?
Yeah,
I
that was
held-
my question.
I held on to it until it was too full, and then I went and threw it in the garbage. And then he went, like I did it, and I look up and he's right there, and I went, "Would you rather clean it up?" And he just went, like he just left me alone because I wasn't drinking anymore at that point. Clearly, I was just
Holy
switched to
cow.
water because I
You
was also
can't do that
dehydrated.
here.
You can't do that here. Would you rather mop it up, bro? I mean,
Dead.
he's
Dead.
a bartender in New Orleans.
Ugh.
I'm positive he's mopped up vomit before. Anyway,
If you were a dog, I wouldn't mind. But human, no.
you asked for it, so yes, I
did.
learned
You did.
I could very
I
discreetly.
did not expect that, though. I expected something completely different. But here we are.
Yeah.
You don't-
And you can't unknow it now.
You can't.
Once you know, it sticks with you.
You can't. I have several people that now giggle every time they look at a red Solo cup.
I don't even want to go to New Orleans now. What bar was it? So I know not to go in there.
Well, I will say, I am not the only person who has overindulged in New Orleans.
I know.
And just wear closed-toed shoes.
Oh,
because the streets can just be. And Crystal is drinking from a red Solo cup currently. And the thing is, I couldn't even really easily get to the ladies' room because the way this was in the French Quarter, so a lot of the buildings are older, so they have this courtyard, this open courtyard in the center. So literally to get from the bar to the bathroom, I would have to go outside and get drenched. So that really wasn't happening every 5 minutes. It wasn't. So yeah, that was a thing. Sorry, Michelle, you asked. You're going to think
I did.
twice.
I did.
When I say, are you sure you want to know? You're going to think.
Yes, I
real
always want to
hard.
know. And I'll
It's always
gross out, but I always want to know.
Okay.
Before
okay.
we do the weird animal fact, now we need a buffer. We need a buffer in between before we go to do.
Oh, fluffy Christian kittens.
Those
Oh,
here for the very first time. Angie usually does a weird animal fact, which is really very cute, very informative,
It's adorable. She does it very cutely.
adorable. She makes a video to go with it.
Ashley, people are yucky.
People are yucky. Yeah.
But for you're welcome, Melissa. But Angie is on her way to Florida. So she's fully divorced, house sold in Massachusetts. She's on her way to her new life in Florida. She's not here. So because she's not here, we have Chris's weird animal fact. Okay.
And there are various weird animal facts that I have begged Angie to do, and she's like, no, nope, and hell no.
You know what? She's had enough doom in her life. She needs uplifting things.
Well, this isn't.
Where in Florida? Do we know the city that she's in?
Perry.
I think Perry.
Perry rings a bell. Perry rings some bells.
It rings a bell. We could be
Right.
totally wrong.
Yeah, don't quote me on it. It's
Yeah.
probably something completely different, but it feels like Perry.
Okay. So Mercedes has a nice fact before we do Chris's. Did you know a flamingo's head has to be upside down when it eats?
That's interesting. How come? We're all waiting.
We're all waiting. Come on, Mercedes.
Give it up, Mercedes. Why?
Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah. Now I need to know.
And it's got to be before Chris does hers. All right, because that's all anyone's going to remember is Chris's.
It's even got a song. It's even got a theme song.
All right, because of the way they digest their food.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we have our buffer.
Okay,
Chris?
so
Go for
our
it.
weird animal fact for today.
Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Go ahead.
We are talking about the Argonaut or the paper nautilus octopus because there are so much about the ocean and different oceanic species that we still don't know. Like there's a lot that scientists are still learning and they don't know. As a matter of fact, with this particular type of octopus, for the longest time, they didn't realize something about it. But one of the different things is the female is like way bigger than the male. They're about 5 inches long and their shells can be as large as 12 inches. And they get the name paper nautilus because the female actually makes its own very thin shell to protect the eggs in the area. And the males are about 3/4 of an inch. So, any of y'all know the song Detachable Penis? If you're going old school. Well, apparently, that's based in nature because for the longest time, when scientists found this thing floating around the ocean, they thought it was a parasitic worm.
Mm-hmm.
Under the male nautilus's left eyeball,
Perfect place. Perfect place.
is a little pouch where they keep their detachable penis. And how they mate is they stick it out and then they rip it off and fling it at the female, and it just goes on its way. It's like, I'm going to go have some adventures. And the female grabs it and sticks it on, and it's got little things to attach. And they think that the male dies at this point. They honestly don't know. I
Oh
mean,
my
no,
gosh, Mercedes, calm down.
especially
See,
when
she's
it's
spicy. She's spicy.
look, it's a detachable penis.
Yeah.
Kind
Fair.
of like
Well, it's better than the
wrong-
anglerfish. The anglerfish takes the small male. She absorbs it into her body.
Well, she needs that protein to carry its babies. It's
Well, I think he's
providing.
still alive, but he gets absorbed because they live so far apart at the bottom of the ocean.
So-
Yeah.
So
She
what-
said, I mean, what's a penis if not a parasitic worm?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is what she said, Ashley.
She's not
You
wrong,
asked.
though. She's not necessarily wrong. So yeah, they rip it off and fling it,
And then we have more Nautiluses.
and then they make more Nautiluses. So
They're a beautiful animal, though. I really enjoy them as
Yeah.
an ocean species.
octopi are amazing. There's a lot we're still learning about them. As a matter of fact, we still don't know a lot about them because scientists have yet to find a living male Argonaut
Fair.
to study because they find the dead ones all the time.
They did find it's called the octopus's garden. That's where they all go to die. I read that just the other day. There's a certain place in the ocean where they all just go there and then they die and leave their remains there.
Yes.
Very strange. And Denise, favorite animal. Favorite.
Interesting. Right? I like it.
But
maybe
yeah,
an upcoming Barkley cruise is to the octopus graveyard.
I like it. Where's it at? Michelle, where's it at?
You're muted, Michelle.
I don't know. I didn't read that far.
Oh, okay.
It was like a
find it. Don't worry.
video.
I'll
You know,
Google
those
it.
101 facts that you never knew before. One of
I'll
those.
make my child do it. He loves doing stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I just
fine.
know that it's there.
Then he can learn. Yep. Mm-hmm.
by the way, this was a brand new toy that got picked up at Lowe's less than an hour ago.
Well, it's fulfilled its destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mary.
on that
So,
note,
and yes, Mary, the fact that scientists never have found a live male Argonaut to study just means that males are too. They just throw it out. They're just like they're so desperate to get laid. They just fling it.
But can they feel that? What pleasure do they get in that if they're separated from it?
you
I
know,
have questions.
Well, you see,
if there's any guys,
they've got to be driven. Maybe it feels good when it like rips off.
Right.
I don't know. I think we just have women on here, so I'm not sure we could get an accurate
Right.
reason on why they would do that. But
I mean, I could theorize.
But you'd be wrong. You can't think like a novelist. We don't know enough about them.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
if you think like, oh, no, I'm not even going to
They're-
go there.
they're
You were
inexplicable.
bothered by the
Leave it at
vomit.
that.
I'm not even.
Ashley, I can ask.
okay, we'll give you a minute to ask Ashley so we can like wrap this up.
Fair.
Angie will be back next week with something more PG,
Family friendly.
maybe family friendly.
If he fling his thing,
Worded
think-
brilliantly.
I think the answer is if it would feel good.
She just committed the weird fact.
Oh, Kayla, we're still talking to you tomorrow night, right?
Yeah. Anyone who's coming in on this point,
Gotta rewatch
You got it.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole thing.
All right. So we're waiting for Ashley to ask her husband, Chris, and then we're going to wrap it up. And we'll be back next week with Angie, who will like I said, have a more family friendly weird animal.
Who will start to heal the wounds that were created today.
Mhm.
Holy cow. I feel traumatized.
Yeah, well, one of them we warned you about.
Oh,
You learn
We
something
warned you
new
about
every
both of
day.
them. You were well warned.
I was.
Mary flat out said you don't want to hear Chris's
But I do.
Norman
It-
story.
The point is that I will always want to know, and it will always gross me out. It's the same. Chris says no. You should see his face. He's like, "Ah."
Well, honestly, the worst part about that whole story, Michelle, is now my husband feels bad that he didn't say anything. So now he feels justified, like, you looking a little swollen today. He's like, trying to save your life.
There. Wow.
So
What can you
now-
even say? What can
now,
you even
yeah,
say?
there's
Yeah,
we're done. We're yeah.
I feel that.
You know, I had an argument with my husband one day, okay? And it was, why don't I pick up the phone when I'm working? This is when I was mobile grooming. Because I'm busy, okay? You're calling me with something stupid, okay? Leave me a message. I will listen to the message. If it's important, I will call you back, okay? He says, I would never call you unless it was really, really important, okay? So I am in Bridgewater, not a lot of signal. I get to the top of a hill, and all of a sudden there's 4 messages coming in. So, it must be important, right? Because I told him he would never call me unless it was important. We established that fact, right?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. So I pulled to the side of the road, and I listened to 4 of the stupidest messages I've ever heard from him in my life. Okay? And then, as I'm
That's a
listening,
high bar. He's a man. They do fling things.
and as I'm there, my foot on the brake pedal goes all the way down to the ground. Yeah, brake failure. 10 times. I'm on top of a hill, the bottom of which is like Little Winona, and I don't have any brakes. Fortunately for me, the client that I was going to was at the bottom of that hill. So if I would have gone all the way down the hill and no brakes, I would have ended up in the lake. Okay. There was no barrier between the end of that road and the lake. So I coasted into a farm, a lot of farms in the area. So I just coasted into a driveway that was obviously used by farm equipment. I was able to coast into it and then called the tow truck. I called Beth. And then I called my husband, and then I yelled at him, and then I told him what happened. And then that, from going forward, was his justification, because he saved my life. Okay, to call me for stupid things again.
At least your husband doesn't call the huge surgical and diagnostic veterinary center. And if he can't get a hold of you, he'll call the receptionist and say, oh, I have a herd of Bichons here and they're stuck together. And it's an emergency. I need him groomed. Then I have 2 secretaries running into my room. Can you fit in 35 Bichons just to get them cut apart? I'm like, okay, that's my husband. Yeah. Yeah. He called one time and every time there was a new person, he would call in and he would say, yeah, I think I have a Wolverine, but I have it trapped. Do you groom Wolverines there? And my motto back then was always, if it can fit my tub, I'll try to groom it. So they take him that seriously. They're like, hey, there's a Wolverine. Wolverines aren't around here. We don't have Wolverines. Wake up.
Okay. My dinner is ready.
Yay.
Dinner time.
Yay. So we'll see everybody next week. Angie will be back. Maybe someone caution her not to listen to this episode.
Oh, I hope not.
She's got to hear this too. This isn't even the worst I could come up with.
Oh, we know.
Oh,
Thank you for that faith in me.
well, before we got started,
Dolphins are probably the worst.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
before we got started, Chris,
Otters.
what did we think the topic was? All right. And Nobody had a problem guessing the topic.
Yeah.
So, all right. Good night, everyone.